music really gets me ready for this topic today. Welcome, everybody. Let's talk about success and how you project success. Communication is a core leadership function, meaning that effective workplace communication and effective leadership are closely intertwined. An effective leader needs to be a skilled communicator, applying that skill in relationships at the organizational level, in larger communities and groups, sometimes even on a global scale. Leadership communication is powerful. What a leader says can unite, inspire, and clarify. Just the opposite, it can divide, anger, and confuse. Research also shows that the way corporate leaders communicate can directly impact their company's bottom line. Leaders spend up to 80% of their workday communicating, and effective leadership communication improves employee engagement and boosts sales. Have I gotten your attention? When done poorly, it can cost billions in the form of employee turnover, litigation, lower shareholder returns, and much more. The responsibility of good communication should extend to everyone in the organization, not just those at the top, but all of you on this live stream. According to expert John Maxwell, everyone is a leader because everyone influences someone. I love that. So much, I'm going to repeat it. Everyone is a leader because everyone influences someone. In today's live stream, I am going to share 5 tips for anyone at any level to practice in order to lead more effectively. My name is Jayne Latz, the communication trainer and strategist. We work with organizations and individuals just like you to develop clear, concise, and confident communication so you can present and communicate to accelerate business success. If you have your calendar handy, I'd love you to jot down the date of my next live stream so that you will be sure to be here. Monday, October 3rd, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I also want to remind you to go to the description box and grab today's free resource. Now, as promised, let's get on with the show. I am ready to share 5 communication tips essential to effective leadership. Number 1, active listening. What exactly does active listening mean? And I'm going to pause with that question because please, any questions you have or responses to my questions, please put in the description box. We monitor it. I try to respond to them. I also want to see who's here. Feel free to identify yourself. Let me know where you're calling in from. But of course, answer questions or ask questions. So what is active listening? It is the eye contact and the smile that connects us to each other. It's the head nods, letting the speaker know that you are listening. And yes, It's asking thoughtful questions. In communication, we have a speaker and we have a listener. And so often the speaker forgets that it's a two-way street. The listener, in turn, can show the speaker that they are engaged in listening by asking those questions, nodding, smiling, and connecting. Number 2, positive feedback. Many in senior management forget how important it is to motivate your team and lead them to success by a simple pat on the back or well done, great job. That light touch, literally or figuratively, can provide just the right amount of encouragement needed by that team member to succeed. So tip number 2 is positive feedback. And I know that there are so many leaders out there that forget that. So be sure to practice giving positive feedback, either verbally or with that very simple pat on the back. Number 3, you've definitely heard me say this before, be concise and direct. Say what you mean. Be direct. Don't hide behind complexity or pile on a ton of information. When leaders provide too much information, it can be overwhelming, and the message or the request can be lost. Brevity is memorable. Brevity leads to action. Brevity prevents misunderstanding. Practice being concise. I have frequently discussed the importance of being concise here on my YouTube videos, on my blogs. That's just how important being concise is. Being too wordy frequently makes people sound nervous and lacking confidence. Use concise communication to sound like the leader you are. Number 4, and this is very popular, and also I'm smiling because it's fun. Tell stories. When you tell a good story, you give life to a vision, a goal, or an objective. Telling good stories creates a bond, creates trust, captures hearts and minds, and serves as a reminder of the vision. Recently, I was watching AGT, America's Got Talent, in the morning when I work out. After I watch the news and it starts repeating, I love to watch other TV that I have set and reserved. Helps me get a much better workout in. So why am I sharing this? They had a comedian on the show. And after all, what's a comedian but a great storyteller? He was so good that I am now going to be adding his 2-minute act to my professional slide deck, especially when speaking to CEOs. It was just such a great example of storytelling to engage the audience. Now, you may want to know what was in that story that made it so compelling for me to add it to my slide deck. Well, talk to your company. If they need a professional communicator, a trainer, a presenter for their team, you will get to see that slide firsthand. I'd love for that to happen. And lastly, number 5 is be mindful of what you are saying without saying a word. I have another story, another experience. I recently went to speak to a group of CEOs. When I arrived, it was their lunchtime. I was to speak after their lunch. While I was setting up, I always like to observe the people in the room. There wasn't a lot of communication among the individuals. Some of them, of course, had to make their business calls. Some of them were eating. As they got together to get ready for my presentation, it was a semicircle. There was someone on my left with the arms crossed. There was someone on my right with their arms crossed, as if to say, show me what you've got. Now, I've been doing what I'm doing. I've been presenting to CEOs for many, many, many years. So the show must go on, even if it's not a warm, inviting group. And the show did go on, and they warmed up a little bit. When I shared this experience with a colleague a few days later, they said to me, well, don't you know why Billy Joel doesn't fill the front 2 rows of his seats at Madison Square Garden in New York City? I said, no. He proceeded to send me a link of an interview done with Jimmy Kimmel in 2017. So you can all go find it. It's about a 3-minute clip. And in that clip, he explains why he leaves the first 2 rows of his concerts. Billy Joel, he's been doing this for 20, 30 years. He leaves his 2 rows empty. He doesn't sell the seats. I shouldn't say he leaves them open. He doesn't sell the seats. When his team arrive at the venue, they go up into the rafters to find the individuals that are singing his songs and smiling and so excited for the show to go on. And they get the best gift of their life because his team invites 2 rows of individuals to fill those front 2 rows so that Billy Joel will see happy, excited faces when he's performing. Imagine that. So here I was in my small venue with those less than warm, inviting individuals. And Billy Joel doesn't want that any more than I do. So remember what you are saying to others without saying a word. Be aware of your body language. A smile goes a long way. Those folded arms are really putting up a big wall. So remember, let others know that you're happy to see them. You're happy to be listening to them. You agree with the point they're making. Nonverbal communication speaks volumes. I love that Chris understands the story I just told. Thumb up to Chris. Excellent. So in summary, for those, I know people come and they go. So in summary, for those that may just be joining, what does it take to sound like a leader, and how do you project success? The most successful leaders inspire others, build connections between people, create alignment throughout the organization. While it is true that some people have innate talent in this area, communication methods and habits can be taught and refined. regardless of the size of the organization, the individuals, the teams, leaders, everyone must feel connected. And we do that with strengthening communication skills. Excellent communication skills cultivate those connections. For the purpose of this video, I have shared 5 communication skills all leaders and emerging leaders and want to be emerging leaders should possess. Let me recap them for you right here. 1, active listening. 2, positive feedback. 3, be concise and direct. 4, be a good storyteller. 5, be mindful of what you're saying without saying a word. And as a reminder, mark your calendar for Monday, October 3rd at 11 a.m. Eastern Time when I will be doing my next live stream. And if you have not yet gone to the description box, please be sure to do so now to not just grab my free resource, but to also visit the website where there are many more free resources. As always, I look forward to your comments, and I want to thank you for joining me today. I will see you on October 3rd. Have a great rest of the day.